Hello everyone, welcome to the Week 1 presentation in IS219. The technology program late policy, you are given a 7-day grace period in which you'll be able to turn in late work. Any work turned in within the 7 days of the original due date will be graded with a 20% late penalty. Any work received after the 7-day period will receive a 0. Discussions are directly connected to your attendance records and cannot be turned in late. The Week 1 reading and discussion. The Week 1 reading for Week 1 is Chapter 1, Database Systems, and Chapter 2, Database Models. The Week 1 discussion topic, in your own words, describe the difference between data and information. Also describe what a DBMS is and what purpose it serves. The initial post must be at least 100 words and is due on Wednesday. You are required to have at least one APA reference with in-text citation in your initial post. 3 replies are due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I'm sorry about that. It's 2 replies due by Sunday. No discussions are allowed after the week is over. You can correct your discussions during the week. Say you forgot your reference and you want to add it, that's fine. But after the week is over, you can't make any corrections or post any. You can do it, but it won't count. Just a little bit on APA format. I use the HU APA tip sheet, which is found in the library under citation. So for a book, typically for a book, it's the author, date of publication, title, edition number, and place of publication, which means the city and state, and then the publisher. So for our book, this is what the book would be. The ebook is author, date of publication, title, version such as Vital Source Bookshelf version, and then the retrieved on URL, and I accept either of those. Excuse me, for a website with an author, the format is author, date of publication, or ND if no date is given. Now, I'm not talking about the copyright for the site. I'm talking about the date that the article was published. If there's no date, you would use ND, not the date at the very bottom given as a copyright. Then you give the title and the retrieved from URL. If you have a website that has no author listed, you start with the title of the page, not the website title, but the title of the page, which usually can be found on the tab or at the beginning of the article. So for instance, if you found an article on Microsoft, you would not start with Microsoft.com, you would start with the actual page number. And again, the date of the publication if it's given, otherwise ND, and then retrieved on. And so this is a little different because you have to give the retrieved on date, meaning the date that you retrieved the information, and then the URL. So for instance, retrieved on July 7th, 2018, and then from, and the URL. And when you give the date for a website, and you give the full date as year, month, day, if those are provided. And again, as I said, you're not looking at the copyright date, you're looking at the date that the article was published. Now, if the author is listed with just a screen name, you would use just the screen name in the place of the author field. The Week 1 assignments, you have Week 1 assignment, which has 10 questions that you need to answer. Cite your sources using APA, which would mean that you would have an in-text citation by the question and then a full reference at the bottom of after all the questions. It's due on Sunday by 11:59. I do allow corrections to assignments for 2 weeks after the due date. And if you'll look in the syllabus section of Blackboard, you'll see the late policy, and it has the dates of the corrections. And I'll remind you of those too as we go along. Assignment 2, you're to install Oracle Database Express and take a screenshot of the DBMS. Just take a screenshot of the opening page to show that you did install it. It's due Sunday, and again, corrections can be made for 2 weeks after the due date. So when you install Oracle Database Express, you go to the website given, you accept the license agreement and download Database Express Edition for your operating system. You will be asked to create an Oracle account before the downloading will be able to start, so just use your Herzing email for your username. Once the download is finished, run the setup as an administrator. And to do that, you would right-click the setup file and choose Run as Administrator. After the installation is complete, click on Getting Started. This will take you to Oracle Online. Click on Application Express at the bottom. Excuse me. And this is just showing you how the Getting Started icon looks. Now, if you get an error which says Windows cannot find, make sure you type the name correctly. This is the error message. You need to edit the Getting Started file. Go to the Getting Started file, and here's the where to find that file. And in that folder, right-click the Get Started file and choose Properties, and there you're going to hand type in your HTTP port, which is usually 8080. So in my case, this is what I typed, and that took care of the error. You should then be able to get started, to use the Get Started file, Get Starting file. Next, you will name your workspace and create a database user. And the database username is your workspace name. Then you create your user with a password. So this is how that looks. Once you have completed setting up your workspace, you will need to log in. This will bring you to Oracle Home. Take a screenshot here showing your username. If you have used Oracle Application Express before, you can continue to do so. And this is a screenshot showing the database. So the final project, I'm not going to go too much into this because I will explain more as we go along. You're going to do it in Oracle Express, and you're going to use SQL Workshop. You're going to create your tables in your workspace using the SQL Workshop, Utilities, and Data Workshop. You can create the data in Excel and add it to using the spreadsheet data if you want. If you work on it each week, then you won't have so much to do. Make sure that you back it up, because toward the end, I've had students that found that they couldn't get in the database. If you're having problems, please let me know. Let me try to help you and figure out what the difficulties are. Now for the quiz, you need to know what DBMS is. That's on page 2. A DBMS can be used to build many different types of databases. Know what the different database types are, page 8 to 9. Spreadsheets are not as efficient as a database. Database design is a virtual step in the process of creating a database. It is very important to back up a database often. Know the components of a database system environment, that's on page 22. Know the difference between data and information, page 30. And know the correct syntax for the select statement, that's on page 13. Now, if you have the ebook, you can subscribe to my highlights. So I highlight all of these things that I'm telling you about in the book. And to do that, you go to sharing, subscribe, and type in my email, which you'll find in faculty information. That's all I have for this week. Please let me know if you have any questions.